Hi guys, today I'm going to read the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita translated by Eknath Easwaran. The War Within. Sri Krishna consoles and instructs Prince Arjuna as he is about to go into battle against family and friends to defend his older brother's claim to the throne of the Kurus. Thus, the great scripture called the Bhagavad Gita, the song of the Lord, begins. Sri Krishna is Bhagwan, the Lord, the mysterious incarnation of Lord Vishnu. The aspect of God who fosters and preserves the universe against the forces constantly working to destroy and corrupt it. Krishna has appeared on earth as a royal prince of the house of the Yadavas. Thus, he combines earthly majesty with a hidden spiritual power. Most know him only as an unimportant prince, but the wise have seen him reveal his power to destroy evil and protect the good. The battle of the Bhagavad Gita is not Krishna's fight. However, it is Arjuna's. Krishna is only Arjuna's charioteer and advisor. He has promised Arjuna that he will be with him throughout the ordeal. But much as he passionately hopes for Arjuna's victory, he has sworn to be a non-combatant in the struggle. A charioteer's position is a lowly one compared to the status and the glory of the warrior he drives. But Krishna assumes this modest role out of love for Arjuna. As a charioteer, he is in a perfect position to give advice and encouragement to Arjuna without violating his promise not to join the fight himself. To secure their claim to the throne, Arjuna and his brothers must fight not an alien army but their own cousins, who have held the kingdom for many years. Tragically, the forces behind them include their own uncle and the blind king Drishtara, and even the revered teachers and elders who guided Arjuna and his brothers when they were young. Arjuna, of course, wants to win the throne for his brothers, but who is the rightful heir to the Kuru dynasty and has endured many wrongs. But he is dismayed at the prospect of fighting his own people. Thus, on the morning the battle is to begin, he turns to Krishna, his friend and his spiritual advisor, and asks him the deeper questions about life that he has never asked before. The Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's answer. Other warriors who appear elsewhere in the drama are mentioned in this first chapter of the Gita. To Indians, these are familiar figures from the legendary past. But to most Western readers, they are unknown and even unpronounceable names. Arjuna and his brothers are known as the Pandavas, the son of the Pandu. Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Sahadeva and Nakula. The other is called the Kauravas, the son of the Kuru. This is somewhat misleading for both sides of the royal family as Kurus by birth. But Pandavas are now in the position of appearing to be dissent faction. So they are called the son of Pandu to distinguish them from the larger family. Pandu was once kingdom of Hastinapura, but he retired into the forest on spiritual retreat and died young. His elder brother Drishtara was blind since birth, so he was never named ruler, but he did share power with his brother. When Pandu died, his eldest son, Yudhishthira, should have succeeded him. But because Yudhishthira was only a boy, Yudhishthira continued on after Pandu's death. As time passed, however, Yudhishthira's attachment to his eldest son, Duryodhan, gradually overcame him. Instead of rising to royal impartiality and allowing Yudhishthira his fair claim, the old blind king began to connive at his son's demand to succeed the throne. Actually, the line of succession has grown convoluted over several generations, and it was not unthinkable that Duryodhan should rule next. But Yudhishthira's outstanding qualities and Duryodhan's corruption gradually decided the issue, at least from the moral point of view. For Duryodhan, the conflict could be resolved only on the battlefield. Other warriors are mentioned briefly in chapter 1. Two particular important figures in Mahabharata are Drona and Bhishma. Drona was born a Brahmin, a member of the priestly caste, but in search of wealth, he took up the way of warrior and excelled in the knowledge of arms. He was the teacher, the guru of all the royal princes in their youth, and the son of Pandu and the son of Yudhishthira alike. Thus, it was he who taught both sides of the skills of the war, an irony which sharp-tongued Duryodhana pointed out in verse 3. Arjuna was Drona's best pupil when it came to the bow, excelling even Drona's own son, Ashwathama. Bhishma, the grand seer of the both sides, is actually not the prince's grandfather, but a respected elder statesman. As Yudhishthira's advisor of many years standing, he considers it his duty to stand by his king and try to protect him from his weakness and wrong decisions. Another figure introduced in chapter 1 is Sanjana, who narrates the entire Gita to the blind king Yudhishthira. Sanjaya is not presented on the battlefield, but the texts tell us that the sage Vyasa, the composer of the Gita, has given him divine insight so he can see and report everything. Chapter 1 leaves us acutely aware that we are on a battlefield waiting for a catastrophic war to begin. But once Krishna begins his instructions, we leave the battlefield behind and enter the realms of philosophy and mystical vision. The first chapter is but a bridge to the real subjects of the Gita, and thus needed not detain us too long in our study of the poem. Yet the first chapter has caused a great deal of debate, largely because of what it has to say about the morality of the war. Basically, there are 2 points of view, which are almost, but perhaps not complete, irreconcilable. First, there is the orthodox Hindu point of view of Gita, condones war for the warrior class. It is the dharma, the moral duty of the soldier to fight in a good cause, though never for evil leaders. According to the orthodox view, the lesson of the Mahabharata is that although war is evil, it is an evil that can be avoided, an evil both tragic and honorable for the warrior himself. War is just cause, justly waged, is also in accord with the divine will. Because of this, in the Mahabharata, Yudhishthira and his noble brothers find their peace in the next world when they have finished their duty on earth. The mystic point of view is more subtle. For them, the battle is an analogy, a cosmic struggle between the good and the evil. Krishna has revealed himself on the earth to re-establish righteousness, and he is asking Arjuna to engage in a spiritual struggle, not a worldly one. According to this interpretation, Arjuna is asked to fight not his kith or kin, but his own lower self. Mahatma Gandhi, who based his daily life on the Gita from his 20s on, felt it was impossible to live the kind of life taught in the Gita and still engage in violence. To argue that the Gita condones violence, he said, was to give importance only to its opening verses, its preface, so to speak, and ignore the scripture itself. For some of us, it has clarified this question to look upon the Gita as the Upanishad, a mystical statement from the Vedas that was incorporated into the warrior epic of the later age. Chapter 1 of the Gita then forms a rather perilous bridge between the warrior's world and the essential part of the Gita, Sri Krishna's revolution of spiritual truth. Now I'm going to go into the shlokas. Drishtara, Shlok 1. O Sanjaya, tell me what happened at Kurukshetra, the field of Dharma, where my family and the Pandavas gathered to fight. Sanjaya. Shlok 2. Having surveyed the forces of the Pandavas arrayed for battle, Prince Duryodhana approached his teacher, Drona, and spoke, O my teacher, might look at this mighty war of the Pandavas, assembled by our own gifted discipline, Yudhishthira. There are heroic warriors and great archers who are equals to Bhima and Arjuna. All these commands might chariots. O best of the Brahmins, listen to the names of those who are distinguished among our own forces. Bhishma, Karna, the victorious Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somata. There are many others too heroic, giving up their lives for this sake, all proficient in war and armed with a variety of weapons. Our army is unlimited and commanded by Bhishma. Theirs is small and commanded by Bhima. Let everyone take his proper place and stand firm behind Bhishma. Then the powerful Bhishma, the grand steer, oldest of the Kurus, in order to cheer Duryodhana, roared like a lion and blew his conch horn. And after Bhishma, a tremendous noise arose of conchs and cow horns and pounded on drums. Then Sri Krishna and Arjuna, who were standing in a mighty chariot, yoked with white horses, blew their divine conches. Sri Krishna blew the conch called Pandichaya, and Arjuna blew that was called Devata. The mighty Bhima blew the huge conch Pandura. And then several other warriors blew their conch. Indeed, the sound was tumultuous, echoing throughout heaven and earth. O Drishtara, Lord of the earth, having seen your son's forces set in their places and the fighting about to begin, Arjuna spoke these words to Sri Krishna. Next, Arjuna. Shlok 3. O Krishna, drive my chariot between the two armies. I want to see those who desire to fight me. With whom will this battle be fought? I want to see those assembled to fight for Duryodhana, those who seek to please the evil-minded son of Drishtara by engaging in war. Sanjaya speaks. Thus Arjuna spoke, and Sri Krishna, driving his splendid chariot between the two armies, facing Bhishma and Arjuna and all the kings of the earth, said, Arjuna, behold all the Kurus together. And Arjuna, standing between the two armies, saw father and grandfathers, teachers and uncles and brothers and sons and grandsons. Seeing his kinsmen established in opposition, Arjuna was overwhelmed by sorrow, Despairing, he spoke these words. Arjuna speaks. O Krishna, I see my own relations here, anxious to fight, and my limbs grow weak. My mouth is dry, my body shakes, and my hair is standing on end. My skin burns, and the bow Gandiva has slipped from my hand. I am unable to stand, my mind seems to be whirling. These signs abode evil for us. I do not see any good can come from killing our own relations in battle. O Krishna, I have no desire for victory or for a kingdom or pleasures. Of what use is a kingdom or pleasure or even life if those for whose sake we desire these things, teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, uncles, in-laws, grandsons, and others with family ties are engaging in this battle, renouncing their wealth and their lives. Even if they were to kill me, I would not want to kill them, not even to become ruler of the three worlds. How much less for the earth alone? O Krishna, what satisfaction could we find in killing Dhrishtarashtra's son? He would become sinner by slaying these men, even though they are evil. The son of Dhrishtarashtra are related to us, therefore we should not kill them. How can we gain happiness by killing members of our own family? Though they are overpowered by greed and see no evil in destroying families and injuring friends, we see these evils. Why shouldn't we turn away from this sin? When a family declines, ancient traditions are destroyed. With them are the lost spiritual foundation for family. The family loses its sense of unity. Where there is no sense of unity, the women of the family become corrupt. And with the corruption of its women, society is plunged into chaos. Social chaos is hell for the family and for those who have destroyed the family as well. It disrupts the process of spiritual evolution begun by our ancestors. The timeless spiritual foundation of family and society would be destroyed by these deeds, which violate the unity of life. It is said that those whose family dharma has been destroyed dwell in hell. This is a great sinner. We are prepared to kill our own relations out of greed for the pleasure of a kingdom. Better for me if the sons of Dhrishtarashtra, weapon in hand, were to attack me in the battle and kill me unarmed and unresisting. Next, Sanjaya speaks. Overwhelmed by his sorrow, Arjuna spoke these words, and casting away his bow, his arrow, he sat down in his chariot in the middle of the battlefield. And this is where we end chapter 1.